Welcome everyone to the new episode of Inside Six Yarns. I'm your host YEATESY, and with me, as always, the guy that most likely would take the last Turkish delight out of a favourites box, my co-host,
Tommy.
Lovely. So Tommy, how you been, mate? How do you feel after the last week's interview?
Mate, I'm fantastic. Last week's interview with Cyril was amazing. So Cyril was such a well sought after goalkeeper in WA. He has a big reputation, a big love for all things goalkeeping, and he's just a legend. So again,
top bloke.
Cyril, thanks very much for coming on the show, mate.
Cheers, mate.
And we'll definitely have to get you back on, mate, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
When this ban gets lifted, maybe do a bit of a cheeky challenge with Cyril as well.
Oh yes,
I think it'd be rude not to.
definitely. It would have to be. That brings us to this week's, mate.
Oh, Tommy. So this week we have, I do believe, an international.
That we do, yeah, definitely. So this international goalkeeper is calling us very soon from, I believe, to be in the UK. So there's about a 7-hour time difference there. So while we're drinking, he's going to be sipping on tea.
Don't they always drink tea?
Of course, yes. But nah, it's going to be awesome bringing this guy on. He currently plays in the Gibraltar National Premier League, which is, I believe, just below
Spain.
Yeah.
There's a little island.
There you go. So,
Yeah.
awesome. He also runs his own vlog series on YouTube.
That's right.
And he currently has just hit over 25,000 subscribers as well. So this is a guy we really look up to, and definitely, we have big shoes to fill with regards to getting this guy on our show.
That's it.
But super excited, mate.
Oh, look, as such a young guy to do what he's done.
Yeah, he's only 25.
And what he's been through, it's a great thing to have him on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
And why are we wasting time?
We need to call this
Yeah,
guy.
let's hit him on the interwebs and let's get this stuff sorted.
Yeah, boy.
Yep.
Hello. How are we doing, Connor?
What's going on, man?
I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you? Good to see you both.
Yeah, you too.
Mate, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, man. It's awesome.
No, thank you very much for asking me. It's a pleasure to be invited. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's good, man. Like it's great to have you, and obviously watching your YouTube channels, and it's finally good to, I guess, talk to you or not really meet you in person, but I guess close to as we could this terrible times.
Yeah, no, this is as good as we can do, but it's great the technology that allows us to do it with you guys being on the other side of the world. So no, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, speaking of the other side of the world, have you ever been to Australia?
I went once when I was probably about 14.
Oh.
We did like the big family trip, so we did Hong Kong, Sydney, Cairns, and then Singapore and back. So it was an amazing trip.
Okay.
I love Australia. We have some family friends over there, but that's the only time I've been, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to get back down under, mate.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Whereabouts is your family?
No,
friend?
I'd love to come.
Whereabouts do they live? Oh, there's cut out.
No, yeah, right. No, whereabouts
Sorry,
is
you're
your?
breaking up a bit. I didn't hear you.
That's okay. Whereabouts is your family friends in Australia?
We've got some in Sydney,
Yeah.
and then one of my mates from school moved out to... I can't remember where he is. He's in Western Australia somewhere. I'm not sure which bit, but...
So that's
us.
that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So that's where we're in Western Australia. No, but mate, how's everything going in the UK? So obviously you guys are in full lockdown, and how are you going? How's Frankie going?
Mm-hmm.
How's the family?
Yeah, no, we're all good, thank you. It's been obviously an interesting time. It was difficult getting back. We were quite fortunate to get back because obviously I was in Spain when it all started to kick off, and so we had a big lockdown in Spain, and we managed to get flights back home. And fortunately, here we're still kind of allowed out for exercise and things, which they aren't in Spain. I still got a garden at my house where I can do some training and things, which is good because the flat I was in Spain was a tiny little flat, and I probably would be losing my mind if I was still there. So I'm quite grateful that I can still do some training. But yeah, Frankie's fine; she's with her family. But I hope all you guys are safe and well as well.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, definitely, mate. we're a little bit better off in WA. There's not like we're not full lockdowns, but we can still kind of go out a little bit and have a bit of fun, do a bit of goalkeeping, and keeping ourselves somewhat fit.
That's it. Well, we are limited.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing.
So yeah, well, we are limited
Sorry, go
to.
on.
Yeah, right. We are limited to 2 people as we can meet up with.
That's all we need. That's
yeah,
all we need.
2 goalkeepers. That's what we do. So.
I know. Well, I've been seeing your videos. It looks like you've been getting some proper good work in as well. So that's good.
Mate, with some tutorials from you in your back garden and stuff like that. Definitely we had a few ideas from Mr. Conor O'Keefe, but but like with regards to like the content side of things, has it been quite difficult? Like with the last few weeks, obviously, not how you probably scheduled keeping goals to go the way it has in the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's been difficult, but I think. I've talked about it. There's always opportunity in things like this. I mean, you guys will probably be the same, creating podcasts, creating videos. There's always opportunity to do something different when something changes. So my schedule with the Keeping Goals vlogs was always, I was doing 1 a week. I was putting them out on a Sunday. It would kind of be documenting what was happening throughout the week with football, be that matches or training or whatever. Whereas we go into this lockdown and obviously the matches aren't happening anymore. I don't have the competitive element or the story element of the season, but at the same time I suddenly have a lot more time to create videos. So now we're creating 2 a week. We're doing a Wednesday and a Sunday vlog. I can do a bit more different type of content. So you guys have mentioned the tutorials. I've done like the garden drills, the indoor drills, the solo drills, things which hopefully could help keepers right now wherever they are dealing with the lockdown, in terms of keeping their training going rather than sitting there and being frustrated and not sure how to keep training. So there's definitely been an opportunity to create different content, and that's been something I've quite enjoyed and been quite fun trying to experiment with and find the nice alternative to what was the previous routine.
For sure, mate. And speaking of keeping goals, obviously, mate, you've just hit 25,000 subscribers, mate. That is just unbelievable, and we take our hats off to you for that. That's a really good achievement. Now, how does that make you feel? Considering you only started about 2 years ago, and you've come so far in so little time. Yeah,
I think it's still incredible when you hear numbers like that, because in day-to-day life you don't really grasp the size of it, as in every single one of those people is someone that has invested their time and given me the opportunity given me their attention and have valued the content that I'm putting out, which is amazing. And you guys will feel the same. I felt that when I had 10 subscribers compared to 25,000 or whatever, having people that value your content and listen to you and value your opinion on things is something I'll probably never get used to. But when you do quantify it and think 25,000 is a huge number of people, it's been amazing to see. And the most recent vlog I did a Q&A, and I asked people to kind of list their favourite Keeping Goals moment, and reading through the comments and seeing people's favourite moments was amazing, because some had very obscure moments that I'd completely forgotten about from series 1 or series 2, and it was so cool to see that those moments had resonated with people and brought them value, and it's been a journey that I've shared with Johnny, who helps me make the videos and was my housemate at university, and together we've grown it, and it's something that we're very proud of.
No, that for sure, mate. It's definitely something to be very proud of. We reckon, mate. It's like for me personally, I actually found you on YouTube when I was actually trying to figure out how to analyze my own games. So I was just YouTubing, how to I was trying to figure out how to actually analyze my own games, and then all of a sudden, Conor O'Keefe pops up, and then that was basically the beginning of the end for me. And all of a sudden, I'm tuning in each week to figure out, what Conor O'Keefe's up to, and what your journey was, and watching, you graduate, going through that whole story. And we want to go through your whole story through this podcast, mate, just so people can just so people can really understand all about you and how far you've come. And just, mate, as goalkeepers ourselves, we appreciate all the hard work you've put in. And me personally, when I've done my YouTube videos, I know how much effort it takes. I know how much editing and how much time, it may only be a 10, 20, 12-minute video, but you're putting hours and hours of time into these videos to get, just a few people to just go, oh yeah, nice video. But in your case, it's a lot more. It's thousands of people that are going, I like your video, and to quantify thousands of people liking your videos is insane.
It's incredible.
Just to think that, thousands of people know who I am. That definitely lights a fire in your butt. And you go, oh yeah, look at Mr. Big Hot Shot.
So it's funny because, before you ask, I was just on that. I started off and obviously there wasn't very many people. I think the first series of Keeping Goals, we did it for a year. We weren't very consistent. We kind of put out an episode a month or something like that, and we managed to get about 400 odd subscribers, which was amazing that 400 people were interested in it. But over the kind of subsequent 2 years, this season and the last season at my university, that's when it kind of really started to grow, because we were putting it out consistently. But like you say, each video does take a lot of planning and a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it when you see that people enjoy it and they get value out of it. And it's important for me to take the time to live in that moment too, because often when you guys see a video, I'm already working on the next one or the one after that, and I'm already kind of planning and editing and doing this kind of thing, and I'll just be like, oh, one's gone up, and I'll see people are talking about it, and I'm like, oh, that's great, but I've got to work on this bit. So it's important for me in those moments to be like, actually take the time to see that people are enjoying it and that people are valuing what you've made, instead of just always thinking in the future, because that's something I'm quite guilty of sometimes.
Well, so I guess we should take this part and let's go from the beginning. So at the age 10, you start off at Alexandra Academy. That's gone back quite a while.
Well, yeah, so I mean, I was like you guys, like everyone who starts off goalkeeping, I'm sure, is you enjoy diving around, you enjoy jumping in the mud, or you enjoy making saves. And I was fortunate that my younger brother, who's only about a year younger than me, he was a striker, so he just used to shoot for hours, and I'd just try and save it. We'd be in the garden all day, and he would just be having shots after shot, and I'd be trying to save it. And at age 10, I joined an academy called Crewe Alexandra, so Crewe are in the third tier of English football. Their first team is a good team, but they're very famous for their academy because they've produced a lot of players from their academy who have gone on to play for United or Liverpool or big Premier League clubs. So they're well known for their kind of prowess of keeping young players coming through. And I joined at the age of 10, and because the academy was so good, every weekend we'd be playing a Man United or a Liverpool or an Everton or a Man City.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And the funny thing was, I hated it. I didn't enjoy it. Every training session I felt nervous. Every training session I felt under pressure. It was very kind of professional. We trained 3-4 times a week at the age of 10. It was quite a way away, so I'd have to travel.
That is pretty full on.
I'd have to kind of leave. Yeah, I'd leave school. I'd be training all night, be coming back late, back in for school. I'd have to do my homework in the car, eat my tea in the car. We'd have like journals where we had to document what we were eating, like all the things which are very, very good to help you develop as a footballer. But at the age of 10, I found it very difficult. I wasn't ready for it. And I think when you're playing against teams like Man United, who are my team, and you're not excited and you're not enjoying it, that kind of shows that something was wrong. So after a year, I just decided I didn't want to play there anymore, and I left and just played amateur Sunday league football for a couple of seasons outfield, and kind of found my love of football again.
Yeah, speaking of Man U, this guy right here is definitely a Man United supporter as well.
Yeah.
So you guys share that in common.
Yeah.
I'm actually Scottish at heart, so I'm more of a Rangers fan myself.
We don't hold that against him.
Yeah. But no, that's awesome. But it's just a bit of more of a trivia question for you, mate. But can you pick your brains as to what gloves you wore back in the day, like back when you were 10 years old? Like, do you remember what type of gloves you wore?
I remember it was an Adidas finger save model, and it was probably about 2004, and I can't remember the exact model, but they were dark blue, and they had like a silver Adidas logo with kind of silver dashes over them, and I remember them being my.
Yeah, I think I remember them. Were
they Predators or something?
Yeah, I think might be like real old line Predators, but I remember them because I think I had a similar pair as my first goalkeeper glove. The Adidas Finger Save Pros were definitely the young keeper's choice.
Jeez, you're lucky. My first gloves were probably about a $10-$20 pair of Umbro at the local sports shop down at Rebel Sport. That had no.
Well, I'm sure
protection.
I remember my first ones being like little knitted ones with like little bits of plastic stitched onto the fingers, and those were things I used to wear when I was like 5, 6. So these were like, I finally was in an academy, so I actually got a real pair of gloves.
Well, at least with a knit a bit, at least you keep your hands warm. So
in England we need it.
Yeah, oh definitely.
And we're the opposite. We just want to try and keep cool.
Yeah, no, mate, it's too hot in Australia, especially sometimes. But definitely. No, like, so obviously after your amateurs little stint, you did eventually go to Macclesfield. Yes. That's correct. So you went through the youth academy. Was it Centre of Excellence? Is that what it's called? Centre of Excellence?
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of Macclesfield's my town. That's where I live. In the northwest of England, only about half an hour south of Manchester, and the Centre of Excellence. How they grade academies basically in the UK is you have different grades of academy, and the Centre of Excellence was a particular grade. Macclesfield weren't a very high level football club at the time. They were in League 2, which is the 4th tier of English football, probably the bottom professional league before you go into semi-professional. So they weren't a rich club. They didn't have a big academy, but it was my local club, and that's when I kind of got back into formal football, and obviously played in goal from kind of under 12s all the way through that academy.
How did that go with the balance of education and also the football? So obviously you mentioned before down at Alexandra Academy how you're training and doing your schooling. So obviously you're a bit old now, 12 to say 19, and obviously education is very important at that stage and where you are now. How did that go?
I think that's a really good question. I'm glad you brought it up because education and football is something I'm very, very passionate about. I enjoyed both of them a lot. I always enjoyed school. I enjoyed classes. I enjoyed all my subjects, and I was good at school. And kind of growing up playing football, it's not so much an issue when you're a kid because the teams obviously take it into account that everyone's at school. But when you get towards 16, it starts to become a bit of an issue because in England, I'm not sure about the situation in Australia, but in England, it's very rare for football players to gain a higher education and then become a professional. So it's not like the American system where you have to go to university to then be drafted into professional sport. It's the other way around in the fact that at 16 you're normally offered, if you're part of a football club, you're offered a youth team contract, which is you would leave your school and you would go full-time with the football club in terms of training full-time. You do study for qualifications, but it's normally a lower level qualification. And then you try and become a professional footballer after that youth team contract. So at 16, I was offered a youth team contract. I was very grateful because it was something that I wanted to do, part of a full-time football club. But at the same time, I wasn't sure what to do because it would have meant that I would leave my school and I wouldn't be able to do A-levels, which is the qualification when you're an 18-year-old at school in the UK. So it was a unique situation. I kind of approached the club and I said, listen, I really want to do it. I really want to train every day, play every day, show what I can do, try and earn a professional contract. But I don't want to do a BTEC, which is the qualification on offer. I want to do my A-levels. And I was told by a lot of people that wouldn't be possible because the work required to achieve good results in your A-levels and also to earn a professional contract was high on both sides. And they thought it would be too difficult for me to do that. But I was very lucky that I played for a club in my hometown, in the same town as my school, so it was very close geographically. And I was also lucky that the school and the football club and my parents as well worked very hard to kind of come to an arrangement where I was able to do both. So I was allowed to join the youth team, but I was allowed to continue my A-levels as well. So what I would do is every morning I would train same as every player every day, but then I'd go back to school and I would study in the afternoons. I'd stay late. I'd do extra classes just to kind of get my A levels, and that was for 2 years. And funnily enough, in a weird way, because of the way it all worked out formally, I had to basically register as a trialist for 2 years. So I wasn't allowed to be paid by the club. I did it all for free. And at the end of the 2 years, I managed to get 2 A's and a B in my A levels, which was really good results. And then I was also offered a full-time contract by the club. So I managed to do what I wanted to do. And when I tell that story, I don't want to do it as like this is what I was really good at. I did really well. I want to do it as a signpost to the fact that I think if you manage kids well, they can achieve on both sides of things, and they shouldn't be inhibited from becoming a professional footballer because they like education, or they shouldn't be inhibited from having an education because they're good at sport or good at football. It's something that should work together. And I think later on in my career, that's something I want to try and help with, because you see far too many kids that sacrifice their education to try and get football, and they end up getting an injury, or they end up not getting a contract, and then they're in trouble. Or kids that don't go for football because they want an education, and then they miss the opportunity to be a professional player. So I think it's something that needs work in the UK.
Yeah. Well, agree. Like that's one of the biggest things. Education is so important. Even with the AFL players in Australia, I know some of them do actually do uni degrees and that. But like what you mentioned, Connor, is if you might be on the top to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo or De Gea, and then there goes your knee or whatever, and no contracts. What are you going to do now with your career? So that's why studying education is very, very important. And I think with all countries, all sports need to get around that, because it's very, very important.
I think what you do,
I agree.
What you do as well is like the way that you talk about it, and the way that you just the way that you educate a lot of your fans about it is real beneficial for people just to see that is possible. And if you do put in the time and put in the hard work, you can do your A levels, and you can potentially get a full-time, football contract at the end of it if you just put in the right time and right effort and put the right plan in place as well.
That's the thing. It's about managing your time. I mean, I learned very young the skill set of planning my week and planning my days. I would have to write in a diary and say, right, this is when I'm training, this is when my lessons are, and this is the time that I have to do my revision or do my coursework or whatever. And I had to stick to that plan, and that's something you probably don't learn until you're a little bit older. But if you can get good at time management, you will be very, very surprised how productive you can be on a number of levels. And I think that's something that I've tried to continue even now that I'm not in formal education anymore. I still manage my time so that I can train well, perform well, improve as a player, but also build a business or produce vlogs or to produce content and things like that. And that's something which I think has really benefited me. And you guys will be the same with your schedule. You'll realize that when you plan your time well, you can achieve on multiple fronts. It doesn't have to be, this is plan A and nothing else is going to happen. You can do well at multiple things.
Well, that's it. Well, we're in the crisis right now. Having that schedule is important. Like, yes, you're not training or playing, but you still need to keep to that schedule that you've got, and you adapt. And that's another 100%. Thing. You need to adapt to the situation.
We always adapt, improvise, and overcome.
That's it. That's a goalkeeper motto, isn't it?
Exactly.
But no, mate, like, awesome. Like, you did say that you did sign for Macclesfield at the end. So you age 19, I think, were you when you got
that so I signed at 18.
18,
I signed at 18, and my birthday was early in that season, so I became 19 during that season. But I signed as a third choice goalkeeper, really. So I was the youngest of the three goalkeepers. The two ahead of me were great guys. I learned a lot training with them every single day. They were very experienced pros that had played at a high level, and to train every day with the first team and to train with them was great. But I just struggled for match time, so I was on the bench. I had a lot of loan moves to local clubs, but I never really got a run of games because, as a lot of goalkeepers will know, at that age, 18, 19, 20, it's very difficult to get into a team and to get a sustained run, because it's almost that catch-22 that coaches want experience, but they won't play you for you to gain experience, so you're kind of stuck in the middle.
Definitely.
Limbo.
Yeah, you definitely feel that. Like, how did that affect you mentally? Exactly. Being a young goalkeeper, especially like when I was, I want to say when I was younger, it wasn't too long ago, but because you're only 1 year older than me. But When I was younger, all you want to do is play. Like, even if you're 18, 19, at the end of the day, all you want to do is just be out there and play football. When you get stuck on the bench, especially as a third choice, how does that affect you mentally moving forward, and how did you interpret that?
I think at the time I didn't assess the situation very well mentally. Not that I struggled. I think I kind of took it for granted. I probably didn't really work as hard as I could have done. Maybe as a result of the 2 previous years, I'd put in a lot of effort and a lot of work to get where I was, and I probably took my foot off the gas a little bit. So I wasn't studying anymore. I wasn't doing anything else. I was just like, I'm a full-time footballer. I'm training every day. This is great. Whereas now, with everything that's happened since, my mindset, if I was to go back to that moment, I would be right. Well, you're not playing, sorry. So training is your match day, because you're not playing on the weekend. So every training session, you have to be the best goalkeeper of the 3. You have to show that you're the better one in order to create that opportunity. I think at the time I was just kind of taking it for granted and being like, I'm just part of training and that's what I do. Whereas now, with that kind of bit more experience and mature head, I would have been like, well, you're a number 3. So every single training session is your match day. You get to rest when everyone else is playing. But during training, you have to show the manager that you're the best goalkeeper and you deserve an opportunity. So that's something that I probably should have done, which I didn't at the time.
That's some very good advice for young goalkeepers out there.
Yeah, definitely.
With that mentality.
Yeah.
Second or third, you need to give a reason for the manager, coach, whoever, to show you, look, I should be there. And that's some good advice to give to young keepers. So young keepers out there, if you're listening, listen to it.
Yeah. And I think managers want to win. Managers need to win to keep their job. They're not going to gift you anything. So It's not going to be, I deserve an opportunity. You guys need to create that opportunity, and the only way you're going to do that is through showing them that you're the best goalkeeper, because they're going to play the person that's going to help them in their job of winning games.
Exactly.
Oh, for sure, mate. Oh, for sure. I just noticed that are you being a good boy and drinking water?
I am.
Yeah, because we're sitting here at 7 o'clock at night drinking beers, and we're just like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, it's a bit early here. It's only 12.
Sorry, yeah.
Well, it's 12. Normally, an Australian saying it's 12 o'clock somewhere in the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be beer o'clock somewhere. That's all right. We'll have one for you, Con. All right, we'll be all right.
That's all right. You have a couple for me.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. No, but look, obviously, so yeah, you spent a lot of time at Macclesfield. So obviously, you left at about, I think it was age 19, 20. You moved on. On from. Did you take a little bit of a break from football before you joined Loughborough?
No, I think if you be looking at my stats, there's almost a missing couple of years on some of the records, which I'm not quite sure where they've gone. But the story was that because of my A-level process and studying for A-levels, during that final year of school, everyone applies for university. It's just the kind of process you go through.
Yeah.
Or applies for an apprenticeship or whatever you're going to do after college. And I never wanted to go to university. I always wanted to play football. I always wanted to be part of a professional club. But my mum and dad were like, just apply for some universities. You don't have to go. Yeah. So I applied to some, and I got an offer from Loughborough University, which is the kind of number 1 university in the UK for sport. It's where British athletics are based, British swimming, England cricket, England netball. It's kind of it's a campus not far from Leicester in the middle of the UK, and it's almost kind of the hub of British sport. And I had an offer from them to go and study international business as a degree, and I wasn't interested. I didn't want to do it, but I said, listen, I've got a professional contract. Do you mind if I defer the offer for a year? And I never intended to take it up. But throughout the year at Macclesfield, I was kind of, towards the end of it, I was thinking, well, I'm 19. The lads in front of me are 24, 27. They've got a lot more experience than me. I'm not playing games. I think I played 13 games on loan at multiple kind of different clubs. And I thought, why don't I go and have a look at this Loughborough and the degree and see what it's all about? And I went down for an open day where they invited a lot of footballers that had an offer. And I kind of saw the football programme that was part of Loughborough University. And it blew me away because the facilities that are on offer at Loughborough are the most incredible you could think of. I'm sure there'll be a similar example in Australia, but the full kind of for the football team, which is a football team of students, it's a university first team, but we had strength and conditioning coaches, psychologists, nutritionists, physiotherapists. We had goalkeeper coaches, a manager, an assistant coach, physical coaches. We had a full-time training program. We would train every single day, twice a day. We'd do gym work, we'd do field work, but then the lads were studying at the same time, but they treated them as professional athletes. And I looked at the program that was on offer, and in terms of football development alone, it was better than what I was doing in a professional club. And I thought, well, why don't I go and do this program for 4 years, was the offer for my university, graduate and still be younger than the lads that are ahead of me right now. So it kind of just made sense. And I think it was the summer of 2015. I decided I was going to go. I kind of agreed. I told Loughborough that I was going to accept my offer. And the way Loughborough work, they play university competition, but they also play non-league within the English football pyramid. So they play FA Cup games, league games, whatever. You could be promoted, relegated. And I joined the university, and I was number one for the university before I even started my course. So I kind of joined in that summer and went all the way through. So no, it was brilliant.
Well, just touching on that, we actually got some of your stats for the last year you played there, which is actually quite impressive. And there's one thing, one thing I want to touch on, which I think a lot of goalkeepers want to do. But so your shot save was 78%, crosses succeeded was 88%, and your short pass actually was 98. I'm going to go 0.8. But look, you played 24 games, 6 clean sheets, 5 man of the matches. But the one thing that I'm very, very jealous about is this assist. You got 1 assist. Can you remember it? And can you talk us through it? Because as goalkeepers, you know that's gold.
That's what we dream for. That's what we dream for.
I know. We never forget things like that. I could talk you through every moment of the day, but it was so yeah. My final year of university, we were playing in a university competition called Bucks, which is British University Championship sport, and we were playing against a team called Stirling, who were up in Scotland, not far from your beloved Rangers. And we were playing away. It was a horrible day, lashing down with rain. It was winter, so although it was 3 p.m, it was pitch black. We were playing in floodlights and
perfect football weather.
Perfect football weather. Yeah. And the trip to Stirling is a horrible one. We would get a coach. It's about 9 hours, and then we stay overnight, and then another 3 hours. Whoa. And by the time we got there, you're either completely lost in your head because you don't want to be there, or you're so up for it because you're thinking we're not going all that way back without a win. So the whole team were absolutely buzzing. We were all over the place. We were dominating. It was one of the best games I played in for Loughborough, and I managed to I think it was a corner. I took the corner, and I saw my centre forward just legging it, and I was like, I'm just going to half volley it as far as I can. So just drop kicked it when I think the defender missed the header completely, and he just lobbed the keeper, and I think that was to make it 2-0. So everyone was buzzing. I'm sure I ran in, celebrated with everyone, but that was a good memory for sure.
You absolutely love seeing that, especially on the TV. It's like you love seeing the goalkeeper run up and he's just celebrating. You just absolutely love it. It's just
and also the commitment to running up and celebrate with.
Yeah, because it takes it out of you. It does take it out of you.
I know. You don't think how far away it is, but your boy Matty Ryan does it a few times for Brighton as well.
Oh yes.
The worst thing that goes I've done a couple of times. You run up and celebrate, but then you're like, oh no, they're going to kick off. I've got to get back there. Running twice as hard.
I've got to get all the way back. I know.
And then you're puffed by the time you get there.
Goalkeeper problems. Goalkeeper problems.
Yeah. We should change the rules about that. You should have to wait 10 minutes before the goalkeeper gets back or something.
Yeah, we're not built for running. You need to give us a breather.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I guess on that note, let's take a short break.
Yeah, definitely. So what we'll do is we'll take a quick break and we'll touch base with Conor, and then we'll be back shortly. All right, guys. So welcome back to Inside Six Yards. We're still here with Conor O'Keefe joining us. Mate, again, thank you very much for joining and sticking around. By the way,
Yes.
My pleasure.
Your busy,
Enjoying it.
your busy schedule, mate.
Well, we're all so busy at the moment.
All those videos.
Taking the piss aside, it is awesome that you do take out time, and obviously, even throughout, like just watching your YouTube channel as well, and looking at the comment section, you do tend to reply to a lot of your comments, and you take the time to actually give a crap about your listeners, which is awesome. I think that's really down to earth, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really important because everybody that watches, like I said before, is giving me their attention and their time to consume what I'm creating, and the least that I can do is interact with them. In terms of, it helps me as well. If I can talk to people, if I can find out what they want to see, what they want to hear, I can adapt the videos to suit them and to best help them, because it's for the audience. So if I was just someone that put out content and then ignored all the feedback, it wouldn't benefit anybody. So the fact that I'm very, very grateful is one, but it also helps me to continue to grow the content to help people.
Oh, for sure, mate. Yeah, definitely. All right, so where were we at before? Where were we at before, Yatesy?
Well, I do believe we're travelling abroad now.
We're travelling abroad? Did you go to Spain? Did you go to Spain, mate?
I did go to Spain.
How was that?
I did. So that was amazing. So the third part of my degree, so the international business degree that I was doing, in the third year, you had the option either to join a business and work in industry for a year, as a placement, or study abroad. And for me, obviously still with the aim of playing football and improving in football, I thought, well, it would be much more difficult for me to continue to play at a high level if I'm working full time compared to the opportunity to go abroad. And I thought, I'd love to play in a different country. It'd be amazing to experience that. I always enjoyed watching Spanish football when I was a kid. Here in the UK, we used to have a show called Revista de la Liga, which was on Sky, and it would show all the highlights of La Liga. Yeah. It would have people talking about it. I was a huge Iker Casillas fan because I'm not the tallest goalkeeper, and I used to love watching him and Victor Valdez and just showing that you could be the best goalkeeper in the world at 5'11" or whatever those guys were. Yeah. And so the fact that I looked into it, and my university had a relationship with a university in Madrid, and so I applied and I was accepted to go and do a year studying in Madrid.
Yeah, no, it's funny that you bring up your height and stuff like that. It does seem to be, a lot of what gets, when you do, type your name into Google, there does seem to be a little thing that talks about, he's only 6 foot, he's only this, but mate, the stigma that you are changing amongst the goalkeeper community in regards to that, obviously you're not at, Casillas level yet, but, there is time. There's time in your career to get up to Casillas level. Yeah. 6 foot, and, representing countries and kicking ass on a world stage. I think you can get there with your attitude and with your go-to attitude, mate. I think you can get there.
I appreciate that, but I think there's so many keepers that have led the way in the UK. I don't know what it's like in Australia, but in the UK when I was growing up, it was like you have to be 6'5", you have to be 6'4". Clubs wouldn't even look at you. Even when I was kind of younger, and clubs would come and watch me. I had scouts from the Republic of Ireland come and watch me because I have Irish heritage, and they were like, even at 15, they said, you're not tall enough, you're just not big enough. And at the time, Shay Given was the Irish number 1, who is 6 foot. I've met the guy, and he was no bigger than me. So it's I find it very strange when you see.
It's ridiculous. It is especially for young guys that haven't finished growing yet.
100%, 100%.
It's ridiculous.
But you look at Barthez.
Oh, he's 5'11". Barthez is. Yeah.
Given, even your guy, Matty Ryan changing it. These keepers that are at the top level of the game and not the biggest, and I think the game is changing. And the fact that you look at how people are starting to play football, and you need a goalkeeper who is agile, a goalkeeper who is fast, a goalkeeper that can move and position well. Obviously, be very, very technically good, but it's not about anymore having the big guy in there because they just can't deal with it. So I think it's starting to shift. I think, which is great.
It's gone full circle. I think it's gone to a point where, back in the day, I think goalkeepers were around that, like late 5 foot, 6 foot marker, and in the modern goalkeepers kind of gone into this guy over here, the 6'3", 6'4", lanky
6'5",
De Gea. You're 6'5". There we go. So there you go. So the lanky, the De Gea, top knot. If you don't have all them boxes ticked, then people won't look at you like.
But also too, Tommy, and kind of one thing, we're noticing over here in Australia. And is in football worldwide is not only with the shot stopping and not necessarily the height, but it's more you're playing as a sweeper. You've got to be good with your feet. You've got to be distribution's got to be on key.
Oh, yeah.
Play well under pressure. Play well in tight spots. That's kind of one trend we're noticing
100%.
here. And it's coming through.
And I think that's key. I think I'm not anti-tall goalkeepers. It's not anything like that. I want goalkeepers to be recognised for the skill sets that they have and the skills that they've developed. And if you can be an extremely effective goalkeeper with the skill set that you show, you should have the position. It shouldn't be that you are put in based on things that you can't control, because that in a way is just producing malpractice for goalkeepers, that they're not working on things, they're not developing, and they're not improving. So whatever height you are, from 5'10" to 6'5", if you're the best goalkeeper because of your skill set and the training you've put in, you should play, and that's how it should be, in my opinion.
No, we 100% agree with you, and especially for me, because I'm only 5'8", and I'm as small as it gets for goalkeepers, and to be honest, mate. Like I've played and I've trained with goalkeepers that are a lot taller than me, and I've definitely been through that. This guy. I've definitely been on that other side of that they just look at you and go, he looks tiny in goals, but they don't look at the bigger picture of the fact that I'm quicker. I'm a lot quicker off my line. I'm a lot better shot stopper. I've got quicker reflexes. All them other things that people don't put into context. They just judge you on your height, and I 100% respect what you're doing in that aspect of it, and the way that you voice it as well is amazing. So that was one of the things that really drew me towards you, and that's why I definitely empathise with you a lot there. And but luckily for us, especially in WA, there isn't too many really tall goalkeepers, especially around that NPL and the state league kind of. There's not a huge stigma there with regards to you need to be tall. Some coaches unfortunately do have that attitude, but a lot of coaches don't, and they just judge you on your performance, and that's a good thing to see, especially here. I think it's really awesome.
Well, it's a positive thing for the kids as well, because they know that they don't have to try hang upside down from a clothesline to stretch out a bit to get the extra foot. It's it goes by skill, and that's especially as a young kid, it'd be very hard to. Why didn't I make it? Oh, because you're not 6 foot. Well, I'm only 13 years old.
Especially for us.
Exactly.
Because we have kids. So Connor, you will get there, and you will get to the stage where you and Frankie will settle down. But I actually have two girls, and Yatesy also has a little girl. And I would hate the fact that if any of my girls get into sport and they get judged on the fact that you're not tall enough to play this position, it would absolutely destroy me. So again, it's one of the things that I really do appreciate, and it definitely brings it to home.
No, I think it's all about concentrating on what you can control. I still get kids sending me messages saying, how can I get taller? How can I grow? And the way that I answer, I say, you can't control it. There's nothing you can do about it. I spent so many years worrying about it when I was a kid, and it was wasted time. If I spent that energy and that frustration in improving my takeoff or improving my assessment of crosses or my footwork or my speed, those are all things that I can get better at and I can improve. So if you focus on improving the best things you can and in being the best goalkeeper you can possibly be, everyone's going to play you no matter what height you are, because you're the best goalkeeper.
Well, that's it. It kind of works out that weakness. If you're not tall, then you know what you need to do to adapt and overcome.
Exactly.
If you're tall,
True.
For myself, I'm quite tall, but my issue is coming out for corners. And it's not what I don't want to do. I want to make a mistake. So I need for mentally
exactly.
wise, need to come out and be more confident. I can catch anything, but it's that mentality thing and knowing I need to work on that. So
it's funny that the 5'8" goalkeeper is better than the 6'5" goalkeeper and coming out for corners.
But it's the way it is, and you just like you say, you just have to identify the things that you need to improve and then work on them. I'm exactly the same. I know that I can come and take more crosses or come and be more dominant in the box, and there's something that I have to work on and improve.
But one thing, if you would have seen some of the videos, Connor, I do believe Tom has a problem with his keeping his legs open.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no. We definitely love the old Megs in our videos. Definitely.
Yeah. So we mentioned your partner Frankie, and she's a teacher. That's correct?
Well, she's only been a teacher for the last couple of months when we were living in Spain. She didn't study to be a teacher. She's a linguist by kind of study. So she did Spanish and Italian at university. So she's done translation work and interpretation work. And obviously this last season when we were living in Spain, she did some teaching in terms of teaching English to Spanish, but also teaching Spanish and Italian to English speakers as well. So she's talented at many things, bless her.
Yeah, well, that it's like that was scripted, because I was going to say the next thing. Obviously, one thing when we looked you up, these 98 golden letters. In Spain. And the interpretations. So obviously, I'm going to say your missus, Frankie, helped you out with that.
Yeah.
Hugely.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and it's good to see. Well, obviously it's hard to do it by yourself, but when you got someone with you and helping you out, that's incredible.
I 100% appreciate that, because when I literally for my wife to come to one of my football games, I would have to beg on my knees, and I'd have to buy her a bunch of roses and say, please come watch me play football. And
it might get to that stage.
Yeah, and then she'd come and watch me play football, and then I'd concede 5 goals, and she'd go, what the hell was that?
but the coffee was nice.
But Frankie's amazing. She's come to pretty much every game since we've been going out, and she's seen many games where I've conceded lots of goals or played poorly or played in front of tiny crowds and not seeing and no one being there, and she's been there at the best moments of my career in the best stadiums and the best games, and to share that with her has been amazing. But what she did for me obviously in Spain was a huge kind of step in my career, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without her.
Does she like football? Is she a football fan?
Not really.
No. Well, she is now, I guess. She's a Conor O'Keefe fan. That's what she is. Yeah.
Well, she likes football now. She loves watching me play, and she gets really into it when I'm playing. And she obviously the teams I'm playing for, she's really passionate about. But if it's on TV, she's not that interested.
Because I think some of the videos she's recorded you playing as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has.
I do, like, I did have the volume up. I think I did hear when you made a save or when they scored, there was a little cheeky cheer in the background there. So that's awesome.
Sometimes she apologises because sometimes she'll jump up when something happens and the camera will go off all over the place.
Don't apologise.
So into it.
Embrace it. Embrace it.
Embrace
I know, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Definitely. We had to bring her up just because we as viewers from the outside as well, we do. And especially me, I definitely appreciate the fact that she does help you out and stuff like that. And she did move to Spain with you and stuff like that. All them little things that it's just little thing. It's the little things that make the big differences as well. And coming to games, support you, helping you out with your vlog and stuff like that. Just
We're doing everything as a team in terms of going forward. She supports me. I couldn't do what I do without her, but we want to create that life where we're living it together and we're sharing it together, and whatever happens, whether we end up at the very, very top or not, the fact that we can share that is really, really special.
And mate, the biggest thing about this is that you get her to watch this podcast and brownie point central this is, mate, my friend, okay? You just cash in on them brownie points.
We'll
edit that comment out so that doesn't think.
Exactly, editing is key, right? No, mate. So obviously, we're going back to the story of Conor O'Keefe. So obviously, you went to Spain, and then afterwards, you went back to Loughborough to finish your uni degree. So
Yeah.
So you spent your last season there. Was it weird going back to Loughborough after Spain? Like once you got a taste of that culture and what football can be like for you potentially in the future, was it hard or?
Yeah, I think. Well, I loved playing in Spain. It suited my game in many ways, and I developed my game more so. So learning from a different philosophy, a different approach to football, different goalkeeper coaches, working with different players. The club I was at, Fuenlabrada, we were really successful. We had a really good year in the league. I was third choice, but I was training with players that had played for Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Malaga, Barcelona, Argentina, Spain, and being in that kind of technical level was huge for my development. We obviously had the amazing experience of the Copa del Rey run, and we had Real Madrid home and away, and those moments were like
dream of.
Just being at the Bernabeu.
I do remember
Gareth
the
Bale
video.
playing.
We do.
That's incredible.
Yeah. That's just
like it was one of the best moments of my life, and obviously coming towards the end of that season, I tasted so much and learned so much, and I was like, I want to carry it on. I want to keep going. But I still had my university degree to complete, and talking to the people from Loughborough, they said, if you want the degree from here, you have to come back for that final year. You can't leave. You can't study from afar or anything like that. And whilst there was obviously kind of not frustration, but maybe a touch of disappointment that I couldn't kind of continue that adventure, at the same time, I knew that it was the next step of my career. So I came back to Loughborough. I was playing for the university again. I finished my degree. I continued to develop and improve as a player, which has always been my focus. And I achieved the huge goal that I'd set myself of earning the degree, and graduated in the summer of 2019. So the summer just passed.
No, that's look. It's just a testament to your hard work that you can, do all the stuff that you've done and still come out with. Was it an international business degree that you got? So that was the course I did. So even if not that we ever think that this football stuff won't work out for you, but you know that you've always got that qualification in the back pocket. But even then, it's probably just a good degree to have. You be like, I've got a business degree. I know business, and
it's added to my life. So before I went to university, my world was Macclesfield. That was all that I'd seen and all that I knew, and that was where I played. If I hadn't gone to Loughborough, I wouldn't have realised that I could play in a foreign country. I wouldn't have developed as I have as a player. I wouldn't have made the friends that I had when I was there. I wouldn't have developed the skills where now I can build my own business and I can run a kind of content platform where I'm producing for thousands of people. None of that would have happened. So it wasn't the fact that I got a bit of paper with my name on it. It was the fact that it gave me so many skills and broadened my mind in terms of not only football but my life. And that was a huge benefit that I received from going to Loughborough.
Well, I guess sometimes it just proves you just need to just take a step out, just open a door and see where it goes, and look where you're now.
And do something different. Yeah, exactly. I never wanted to go there. I never wanted to go to university. And so sometimes, for whatever stage, everyone will experience it in their life. They'll be pushed towards a path where they never thought that they wanted to do it. And if you embrace it and kind of go for it full on and take every opportunity that you have from that path, you'll suddenly realise that you're in a much better place than you were if you'd have gone down route A that you always wanted to do.
Oh, for sure. No.
That's what's the saying? Live life in the moment. Just go for it.
Exactly.
I thought you were going to come out with a YOLO comment or something like that.
No, I think I'm too old for YOLO comments.
So obviously, your little stint in knocked the mic. Your little stint in Spain, did that make it easier in the end once you graduated and you were looking for that full-time gig? That move to Gibraltar where you went to Europa Point FC, did that make it easier to make that decision as to go, okay, I know what it's kind of like, I can do that, and you made that move?
Yeah, so I think the first month when I was in Spain, I was on my own. I lived in Airbnbs. I didn't see anybody. I couldn't speak Spanish. I was completely out of my comfort zone. And any other time, you probably would have thought, I'll never be able to do that. But you get to the point where you grow and you realise you can do it, and you can do it well. So I come to the point where I graduate from Loughborough, and suddenly I'm not just looking for clubs in England. I'm looking at any opportunity and knowing that wherever I go, I've learnt a language. I can do it. I can live abroad on my own. I can succeed at the football. So wherever the opportunity comes, whether that's Gibraltar or Germany or anywhere else,
Australia,
I can still adapt to it, and I can flourish in it. So I think it was important that at that moment. I mean, even then, I'd had the first and second series of Keeping Goals. I'd managed to grow it so that I had quite a good platform. I think we were on about 13,000 subscribers. I'd had the experiences I'd had in Spain. I'd documented all of that. I didn't have many offers to play football. I had a couple of semi-pro offers kind of locally in the UK, but full-time, I didn't really have anything. And the offer from Europa Point was really the main offer where if I wanted to play full-time and continue full-time, that was where I would have to go. So I obviously took that with open arms and embraced it, and ended up in Gibraltar, where I'd never been before, but was an incredible place. For people that don't know, Gibraltar's a small, tiny foreign territory of the United Kingdom attached by border to Spain. So it's a very, very small rock. That there's very few people that live there. There's only one stadium. There's one football pitch. So the 12 football teams all play in the same ground.
That's cool. I just find that
so
crazy.
Did a bit of research about how it changed hands with English and all that type of stuff. There's a lot of history behind that place.
Exactly. So there's a huge amount of history of Gibraltar. I lived in Spain whilst I was there, so every match day we would have to cross the border, take your passport, drive over, and you end up driving across the runway of the airport to actually get into Gibraltar. It's an incredible place.
Yeah, I remember watching episodes when you crossed the border with your dad. Walking along the runway and stuff like that. I'm just like, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
I know.
But no, that is awesome, mate. And it is good that that bit of exposure to Spain did open the doors up for more things for you, so that you didn't have to limit yourself to, I need to make sure that I sign for a club in England or Scotland or anywhere that's local. You actually could go abroad, and you had that confidence to do that, and I think that's absolutely awesome. So what I actually do have as some of your stats for your actual season so far in the Gibraltar Premier League or National League, as you should call it. Obviously, I did actually follow you. That was the start of Keeping Goals season 3. That was when you started, obviously in Gibraltar. But you did get Team of the Week twice. And I don't know about you, but I find that goalkeeper recognition is not always something that's consistent, especially worldwide. I think people do tend to take goalkeepers for granted because they just go, they don't really do much. It's like, well, no, even you think he didn't do much, but if you look at every pass that he did, it was on target. Every save he had to make, he was in the right position, and it was clean-handed. All them little things that people don't necessarily, take into account. I love the fact that literally, I think it was within your first game or first couple of games, you instantly got into Team of the Week. And I thought,
so it was my first one was the first match that I played. So
there you go.
I came in. My mentality was very aggressive, not aggressive to people, but I came in saying, I'm going to show what I can do. As soon as you let me out there, I'm going to show what I can perform. And I think that was partly because I was in a new place with a new league with people that didn't know me, so I wanted to show people what I was about. But also the fact that I'd come off the back of a summer where I didn't have many offers and no one really was giving me any opportunities, and I was like, well, watch this. This is what I can do. And I came into that first game, played really well, kept a clean sheet, got in Team of the Week, and I was like, right, this is it. I'm flying. And then the very next game, we lost 5-0. And it was like
that's goalkeeping. That is goalkeeping, isn't it?
That's goalkeeping. And you could either get really upset and frustrated about that, but I sat back and was like, actually, in the 5-0, I still feel I played as well as I did when I drew 0-0 and got in Team of the Week. It was 5 goals where we got beaten by a better team. They were good goals. I didn't make any mistakes. My passing was good. I took crosses. I made 10 other saves, but we end up losing 5-0, and that's the life of a goalkeeper. You have to be very kind of in the middle. 1 minute you're Team of the Week, clean sheet, everyone loves you, and the next you're 5-0 down. You have to be bang in the middle of both of them. You can't be too high, can't be too low. So that was kind of the way I approached it all.
And that's something that as well that I wanted to brush on, is the fact that, you know, goalkeeping, and especially the goalkeeper, is such a unique position in the fact that even if you do have, like, you can come off that park and say, I had a brilliant game, but you could have let in, 4 or 5 goals. And not necessarily your fault, but even then you could come off the game, I had a bloody shocking game, but then you would have won 1-0, kept a clean sheet. It's so weird how goalkeeping will like that. And it does, in my younger days, I did struggle to kind of, compensate that, and it was hard to deal with. But yeah, it was one thing as well that you do tend to bring up a lot, especially through, your Facebook and through your channels. You do talk about the importance of the mentality behind the goalkeeping, and you talk about what exactly you do and how you reach out for support as well, and I just think that's awesome, and how you interpret that, and how you just tell other people about that, and just say that it is okay to reach out for support, talk to somebody about your highs and your lows.
Definitely.
And
definitely,
I personally appreciate that, because a little bit about me is I did suffer a lot from depression when I left school. And I did. I thought I had a few really bad days, and luckily for me, I met my wife, and she turned my life upside down, and she really brought me back to life, and I'm forever grateful for her for that. So I really do, from a personal, real deep point of view, I really do appreciate that, and how you can really, especially inbred into young keepers. That's the main thing, because they can, realize that I had a bad game, or I made a mistake. But you can talk about it, interpret it, move on from it, and that process, I think, is brilliant what you're doing there, mate.
Well, there's two sides to it. I think we spoke a little bit about this in the break. So we were saying how important it is to spread the love of goalkeeping, and how important it is to just enjoy playing the position. And that's something which I think you two do brilliantly in your content. You can see your love of goalkeeping, and you spread that love, and it's infectious. And that's why I enjoy what you do so much. But from my point of view, the mentality side was something I never worked on. And in terms of our position, mental strength is a huge proportion of our performance and of our skill set.
Insane.
But you compare the amount of time that we train our brain compared to our technical ability, our tactical ability, our physical ability, our whatever, it's so little. We don't put any emphasis on improving it, and that was something I suffered from right up until probably my final year at university. I never worked on my mentality. I'd be very inconsistent with my performance. One day I'd be 10 out of 10 pulling off worldly saves, the next 2 out of 10 making tons of mistakes. I wasn't consistent. I'd be very nervous. I'd be, if something went wrong, I'd feel it for days, for weeks, and I'd be so self-critical. And it was only when I started working with a mental coaching platform called Your Athletic Zone, who I talk about in my videos a lot. And I still have weekly one-to-one sessions with a guy called Pi, who works at Your Athletic Zone, and literally we talk about how I'm feeling. We talk about the broad subjects of my performance, what I've been enjoying, what I've been finding difficult, what I've been working on, which sometimes you can talk with your family, but often they don't understand. They've not been in that position. They don't know how to help you other than on an emotional basis. Whereas with Pi, I can actually go into deep areas of it where I can implement processes to help me. So I can talk, we've built up a kind of match visualization routine. So even now I'm using it so that I can visualize a whole game from start to finish, how I would feel taking a cross or making a save or hitting a side volley, how I'd feel if I messed up, or if I dropped the ball in the net, or if we lost the game. All these feelings, which you hear so many top athletes talk about visualization and how important it is, but when we come back to the game, I'm not going to feel weird, because I felt those things every day during lockdown. With the visualization, we have kind of pre-match focus routines in terms of what I listen to, what I think about, mental talking to myself in a positive manner so that I feel happy, that I feel good, I feel ready to perform, I'm not anxious or worried. All these kind of tools which I never knew, which have been so key in kind of building up consistency of performance and showed in my level going up. I attribute it so much to the mental work that I've done in the last couple of years, which is something I would really encourage anybody to look into.
Yeah, it's funny though with the trend when you said about the mental health and getting mentally ready and prepared for a game. take a turn back, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, talking about mental health, a man talking to another man at mental health, considered to be weak.
I know.
But it's very, very important. It takes a big part in the game. I know in some of your videos, you're talking about the mental preparation, the visual cues. I myself do it a bit. But when I was younger, the biggest thing was when you concede a goal, I used to get angry, like I did something wrong. And that just ruins the rest of the game and ruins the tempo too. And the biggest thing is also, it not only affects yourself mentally and physically, but it affects the team. You know, you're the last man of defence. Yeah. And if they see a goalkeeper that's got nuts at the 6-yard box or made a howler, and you just, dropped your toys out of the cot and started crying. But if, you make a mistake, put your hand up and go, my bad, I'm sorry. Come on, boys, let's go get it. Yeah. The team feels
let's get on with it.
The team feels more empowered. So it is a very, very important
100%.
thing.
The mentality behind the game's changed so much. Yeah. And what you usually find is that confidence, especially as a goalkeeper, is contagious as hell. As soon as you get a confident goalkeeper who's doing the right things, who's saying the right things, you find that your defenders are more confident on the ball. And that usually transfers to the midfield and then the strikers, and then all of a sudden everybody's pump their tires are pumped up to the full, and all of a sudden you're performing well as a team. And it all starts from the guy sitting inside the 6-yard box, not doing they say not doing much. But we lead from the back, and one of the many things that make the goalkeeper such a unique and awesome position. What makes us a unique person?
Exactly.
It takes a unique person to play goalkeeper,
and a special person.
A special, I wouldn't say special. We might take that the wrong way.
That's for sure. In more ways than one.
Yeah.
So currently, January this year, you signed for Bruno Magpies.
Yes. So what obviously the mentality going into Europa, and you said it yourself. The mentality was new club, new league. I need to go out. I need to make an impression. And obviously you did make a huge impression in that league for another club in the same league to go, yes, we want him. Let's put him in our sticks.
It's funny because I think at the time it didn't feel weird, but when you look back on it, it's such a short period of time. Normally over in football you would try and progress up a club over seasons, whereas I was on complete focus on fast forward, not on leaving Europa Point, but on performing again and again and again and again and showing what I could do. And I felt like I did that really well. As a team we were struggling. We didn't score enough goals, we didn't win enough games. The aim was to get into the top 6 because in the Gibraltar National League there were 12 teams.
It split halfway.
At Christmas, at Christmas it split into a top 6 and bottom 6. And within that top 6 you could then, it's a championship group, you play within the top 6, but the champions go into Champions League qualifiers, and second place go into the Europa League qualifiers. So for me it was like, well, I want to be there, I want to be in those top 2 positions, I want to play European football. And so at Europa Point we probably should have got top 6, but we didn't get results when we should have done. Talking about mentality, again, there was probably times where I got too emotionally invested in results. I got very frustrated, which is natural. But
for sure.
I probably got too upset when we lost games we should have won, or draw when we should have won, and I didn't just focus on my performance. But ultimately, my performance was at a high level, and I was getting recognition from the rest of the league. So when in the January transfer window, a team from the top 6 came and said, "Listen, we want you to be our number 1. We want you to come and play for us." It was a great opportunity for me to go for the remaining part of that season and continue to try and achieve what I wanted to achieve, which was to finish in those European spots.
Yeah, of course. And the other thing that I actually noticed as well with when I noticed that you signed for Bruno's, and it was an awesome transfer for you, because obviously going from the almost a part-time gig at Europa Point to a full-time gig at Bruno's, and obviously that was the aim of keeping goals. That was literally, every intro, this is my vlog, trying to become a professional goalkeeper. And all of a sudden you come out one day and you're like, well, guys, I've done it, you know. What was the feeling of that, you know, to literally feel that point where you've gone, I've achieved what I said I was going to achieve 2 years ago on this very channel.
Yeah.
Like, how awesome was that?
It's funny because, like I said before, it was another test for me to live in the moment and enjoy it, because as soon as, even when I was filming that very video where I was saying, now I'm a professional, in my head, I didn't really care anymore, even though I'd spent 2 years saying this is what I want to do. In my head, it wasn't like, finally I've made it. In my head, it was like, right, now I need to play well for these. I need to perform well for these. I need to make sure that we do well in the season. I need to create more opportunity. I need to keep moving forward. And it's another benefit of having Frankie along for the ride. And she goes, just hold up a minute. Like, look what you've done. Look where you've been. Look how far you've come. Recognize it, because it's important for you, and it's an important moment for everyone that supported you to do it. Mate, which is 100% true.
You have to put yourself in your listeners' shoes, and, you know, especially them people that have been with you for a long time. Like, I know there's going to be listeners and watchers out there that have been into you for a lot longer than me, that have literally watched your whole journey, and then all of a sudden for you to come out and say, I'm a professional goalkeeper. This is my journey. I've finally done it. You know, we're all sitting back on our YouTube chairs going, yeah, boy, go Conor. You know?
Well, you never know. It might sign for Manchester United soon.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
maybe like, I chatted to that guy. Yeah. Look out the hell.
Yeah, I know. You definitely have to. Yeah, I think it is hard, and I do agree with you that it is hard to kind of take a step back, and because we are so focus orientated on bigger, better, and the next best thing. What's the next best thing? What's the and especially it is hard to kind of just take a step back and go, do you know what? Look at what I've done. Look what I've achieved. And mate, you have a lot to look back on, and a lot to be very proud of, my friend.
I guess it's a humbling moment, isn't it, to reach those goals and be like, I did it. Yeah. And then moving forward, what's next?
It's like a shopping list for you, mate. You're just ticking boxes. You're just ticking boxes, and then you just swipe delete, and you forget what you've actually accomplished. But yeah, definitely.
Exactly. No, it's true.
All right, so
before Tom, I just we're going to kind of claim someone. He's not Australian, he's New Zealand though. I do believe you have, or say a fellow Australian on the Bruno Magpies team, and I'm going to try and pronounce his name, and I don't want to embarrass the guy, so can you please tell us his name? It does start with T. He's a right back.
We all call him Tam.
Tam, okay, good. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
sorry, excuse me.
No, you're right.
So yeah, Tam's from New Zealand, and so yeah, if you talk about moving abroad and taking up opportunities, for me, it's only a 2-3 hour flight back home. Family can come and visit, but Tam's obviously halfway across the world without his family, and he's an incredible player. He'd played in the US in terms of college soccer before coming to Bruno's, but no, he's a brilliant player and a great guy. So
he's only 24.
Yeah, so he's the same age as me. Young fella.
Young buck.
Yeah, young buck.
So we in Australia, even though you're New Zealand, we still kind of claim him as our own. So it's good. It's just a little bit of
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. It's just it's pretty cool because we had a look through the team. It's interesting to see
different
nationalities coming together to make that team. So
we got a fair few.
Yeah. There was actually something else that I wanted to ask you about, which was quite weird. That I noticed it because as soon as I saw that you signed for Bruno's Magpies, I'm like, yeah, sweet. I'm going to follow them on Twitter, follow them on Facebook. I want to see updates of them going, Conor O'Keefe made a save, or made a penalty save. That's the stuff we live for. So about a month after they announced another signing of another goalkeeper. So Ivan, is it his name Ivan?
Yeah.
So what was that like? Obviously, for me that'd be a bit weird. Have they signed him to replace me, to kind of test me as a number two, or and what was your feeling around that? And also, what's your relationship like with your obviously your partner keeper? Because what we talked about last week about how important it is to kind of have a healthy relationship with the guy you're scrapping with, because you want to be friends because you're going to be spending a lot of time together training and stuff like that, but you also want to have that mutual understanding that I'm trying to take your spot, you're trying to take my spot, because there's only one spot, but
You want to push each
Yeah.
other.
yeah, we want to push each other to get the best out of each other. But then again, it's the coach's decision. It's not ours or the manager's decision.
Yeah, 100%. So I think for me as a goalkeeper, I could go down one of two roads. I could be worried, I could be nervous, I could be thinking, what have I done wrong? Why are they putting someone else in? But the way that I would choose to go down it is go, well, I get the opportunity to work with another player of a high caliber. Ivan's he's very similar age to me. He's played at a very, very good level in Spain. He's a Spanish lad, so he was local and nearby. And I get to test myself against another person. I get another person to push me to make sure that I'm the best that I can be. And whoever's the best is going to play. So
take the challenge.
It's been a funny, it's a challenge. And the second part of the season, it's been really equal. We both played 4 games out of the 8. We're both pushing to try and help the team. We're both trying to perform. So in terms of competition with the number 2, I've been a number 3, a number 2, a number 1. It won't affect how I work, and it won't affect how I'm trying to improve every day. And if it's decided that I'm not playing, okay, that's frustrating, but I just know that I have to keep improving. If it's decided that I am playing, I know that someone's pushing me every step of the way. So I have to use it in terms of helping me to progress. That's always got to be my focus.
No, for sure, mate. It was quite interesting for me to read, because I was like, oh yeah, cool. Maybe we're going to see him on keeping goals and stuff like that. I never really saw him on any like videos or anything. I was like, oh, maybe there's. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, maybe Connor's just went, oh, I'm watching you, buddy. All right,
Meet him in the car park.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just that's something Yatesy would do. Meet him in the car park, just give him a little tap on the ankles and go, yeah, all right, mate.
Well, I think it's funny because in keeping goals, I think you as an audience haven't actually really met many of the Bruno's players or seen kind of much of the club. And I think in terms of, you probably have more knowledge of the Europa Point players and some of the lads that I got on really well with there who have been in some of the vlogs. And I think with Bruno's, because it's very different joining a club in January compared to joining in the summer. When you join in the summer and you join for a season, you have a full pre-season to get to know people.
Yeah.
You have a full pre-season to settle into a team. You have a full pre-season to kind of join. And in January, Bruno's brought in a lot of players. It wasn't just me. There was a lot of new players, and we were straight into a season, playing against top teams, and it was hard. It was hard and important work from all the staff and all the players. So from my point of view, with the vlog as well, my focus was very much on, right, I need to perform and I need to be playing and we need to be getting results. And as a result, unfortunately, I don't think there was probably that much time to showcase the other lads and how it was within the team. And possibly there won't be the time for that because of this lockdown and what might happen with the seasons. It might just be that was what happens. But I think it was an unfortunate kind of side effect of a January transfer window move, which is very different to joining a team in the summer.
It would be, yeah.
No, mate, look, that is pretty much us covered you for most of your career, mate. And what we want to finish off with is just a few bit of fun, like less serious questions, more little fun questions, just to kind of let people know a little bit more about you. But the first one is obviously this. Yatesy loves to ask this question.
Well, Tom, can I? Well, can I ask a question, Tom?
Yeah, of course you can ask it.
So, I'd like to know your your favourite football movie.
He asks this to everyone, by the way, and he's always interested.
Ooh.
And no judgment what you're going to say. It doesn't have to be football. You could say Notebook, and we won't hold it against you.
No, we won't. But we just we'll never Skype call you again.
Yeah. No, I loved the goal films when I was a kid.
Cheeky.
Even though they kind of ranged in quality. When I was young, I just kind of enjoyed that whole kind of that series. I enjoyed that. And I really, one that I know I will love, but I haven't seen yet, is The Keeper, about Bert Troutman.
Haven't seen that yet. Yeah.
Who then went to play for Man City and win the FA Cup, and an incredible life story, obviously, before that, being a German prisoner of war. And that's my granddad went to watch it. My granddad was a goalkeeper, and he said it was amazing, and I still haven't seen it, but I really want to go and watch that one.
Yeah, well, I have to put that down. So The Keeper for all the followers and viewers.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry.
On both channels.
That's one that we need to watch as well. But just for your information, Con, our favourite football film for us is Mean Machine. Mm-hmm. We absolutely love Mean Machine.
I've never seen it.
There we go. There's another one on your bucket list, mate. You have to watch that. Vinnie Jones, Jason Statham in their prime, mate. Yeah. And Jason Statham as a goalkeeper.
The monk.
The monk.
The monk.
Yeah, is amazing. It's just,
I've never seen the film, but I've been called the monk a few times, so I know where it's from.
Just take that as a compliment.
That is a compliment. That is, if somebody calls you the monk as a goalkeeper, there is no higher honour. Golden Glove, shove that away. The monk.
I must say about the movie.
I'll take that.
I must say about the movie Goal. I love the cheeky, the Shearer inputs, like when he's doing the leg extension, I think he is, and he changes the weights.
Yeah.
On the first one. I love that. Just the cheeky little intros of all the players and stuff like that. It was well done for what they had with the three movies. That's a good movie. Yeah. I actually wouldn't mind watching that again.
That's funny.
We might have to do a little movie night here and just watch some.
I'll bring the tissues when you cry. Yeah.
I thought glad we're talking about crying.
Yeah. So what's the next question, Tom?
So you have mentioned on your podcast that you do actually regular Q&As. It is quite hard for us to try find unique questions because I know that you have probably answered a lot of the same questions over and over. But obviously you have mentioned that your favourite goalkeeper is Ter Stegen. Is that still the case? Or have you found a new love or no romance in another keeper?
No, Ter Stegen's still the man for me in terms of keepers playing at the moment. I think just watching how controlled he is of his movement, how he can distribute so well with both feet, how he's so relaxed. Some of the saves he makes are incredible. I love listening to him as a person as well. He's very intelligent, very analytical. And I take a lot of value from watching him and listening to him. I mean, there's loads of other keepers that I love, and there's loads that have extremely incredible attributes. But for me, Ter Stegen's still my favourite at the moment.
You got to have a favourite, don't you?
Everyone's got it's when you have kids as well. You try to say there's not a favourite, but you know who your favourite is.
So kind of with your obviously your mental preparation, all that type of stuff. Do you have a song that you would listen to before a game or on the journey, because obviously you have a little bit of a drive to go? Is there a song that really gets you going?
I have a few. I have kind of different playlists in terms of preparing for games. I have a few, kind of varying how I want my level of adrenaline, how pumped up I want to be, and I think I'm trying to think off the top of my head some of the good ones. I quite like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a guy called Sam Fender. He's a guy from Newcastle in the UK. No. You'll have to look up some of his songs. But he's got a song called Borders, which is really, really good. That kind of gets me going. And so that's one that's on one of my playlists.
Bit of a dancey,
Borders by Sam Fender.
Gets the blood pumping, you know?
He's a bit alternative, and he has it's guitar and a bit of saxophone and things, but it's good, and it just makes me think of kind of younger, enjoying football, just loving it, like summer days, diving around, and it kind of gets very positive endorphins going for me. So I enjoy that song a lot.
Absolutely loves it. Yeah, everyone's got their own little quirks that they like to do. Like the goalkeeper that we had on last week, Cyril Sharrock, a bit of an older gentleman, but he's made it clear during his pre-game routine he actually doesn't listen to music. He just likes a quiet place. And I was like, that everyone's got their own. It was quite interesting to hear, a different perspective, because he just likes to kind of get into that zen kind of happy place, And then once he leaves the changing room last, that's one of his things that he likes.
First one in,
first one in, last one out, and that's just what he likes.
Nice.
Everyone has their own little, their little quirks that they like to do, which is it's always quite interesting to hear as well.
I like that.
So obviously, I have watched you for quite some time, and you did wear negative cut gloves for a long period of your career, and then all of a sudden there's something that's changed, and all of a sudden you tried out a few different cuts of gloves, and all of a sudden you're wearing something different now. You still a big fan? Is that your favorite cut of glove? The hybrid, is that still your favorite cut of glove at the moment?
I think either the negative or the hybrid. I think I have worn negative mainly over my career.
Yeah.
The gloves that I'm wearing at the moment. So I'm sponsored by a brand called Callier, and the gloves that they produce are incredible. And I think you guys mentioned that Kenny, the guy behind Callier, will be on hopefully on the podcast soon, and you'll get to talk to him more about his products. But they're unbelievable gloves, and the hybrid cut of the Callier gloves is a kind of a combination, obviously, between the negative and the roll finger. But the way it fit, I really loved the fit of the gloves. But the Callier negatives are brilliant too. So at the minute, I'm kind of alternating between the two. So I'll make sure that I've got a pair. I'm fortunate nowadays that I can have a pair of each. So
definitely.
I can play with both.
Do you find with the negatives, it's a better feel for the ball? Like you get more control of the ball?
Yeah, and I think I did a video when I initially kind of signed with Callier, and I compared the different types of gloves. So I looked at the negatives, the roll finger, and the hybrid. And I think it was actually the positive cut that I did. I don't think I did the hybrid in that one. But the negatives I always loved because of the feel on my hands. I felt like it was just an extension of my hands. It was very tight. I felt in control. Roll fingers I was never a huge fan of because I didn't like the excess space. But when I was testing the two, it almost felt like, because of the added surface area of the roll fingers, it almost felt a little bit more secure in terms of my handling and things like that. And so with the hybrid, I almost felt like I had the best of both because I had the tighter fit, but a couple of the forefinger and the little finger had the rollover element, so I had a little bit more surface area of the latex, and it just kind of felt like a nice combination of the two.
And that is our favourite cut of glove. So we both wear SDL gloves. So that's our sponsor as well. And SDL hybrid cut, and has the same thing that you're talking about. So the roll on the pinky and the forefinger, and then the negative cut on the middle two fingers. And we believe that to be the best cut out there at the moment, because it does give you the benefits of the negative cut and the roll cut all combined into that one bit of glove, and you're like, man, this is like orgasm in a glove.
And the hard thing is, though, there's so many different cuts and style of gloves, and going back to the juniors again, you know, as a young kid, you don't really know what's out there, and you know, all the young kids just go to Rebel Sport and go, oh look.
So for you context, that Rebel Sport is an Australian, more like a soccer sport, if you like, in the UK. Just to give them a bit of context, because you might not know what Rebel Sport is, because it's like
I get
your £10 glove, like a cheap ass glove.
It's like we mentioned Foxtel, and that's Sky for you. You know, Bunnings here, B&Q in the UK. You know, that little.
But I think with I agree. But with the gloves, and obviously I'm very fortunate nowadays that I've kind of got to a stage in my career that I can try different types of gloves, and I have an amazing sponsor that supports me, same as you guys, and I can try out and I can see which ones I like and which ones I don't like. When I remember being a kid, you can't spend money on loads of different types of gloves. You can't try loads of things. You have to do your best to try and narrow it down based on a web's page or based on what's in the shop, and so I think
we thank our parents too.
Definitely.
Exactly. So I think in that sense, it's important to kind of try and describe, and I hope that video helps, because obviously people prefer different things. I agree completely with the negative cut. With the hybrid cut, that I enjoy the two elements of it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we agree with you there, mate. And that was one thing that we did. So our pilot episode for Inside 6 Yarns, we actually brought out our 3 top favourite gloves that we ever did, we've ever worn. And I was fortunate enough to grab a pair of Callier gloves. So the only pair that I actually own, but I actually grabbed them in the extension cut. Now, that's a cut that I absolutely knew nothing about, and that was quite unique to Callier as well. I actually wanted to, have you tried that cut yet, or have you?
I have tried them.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. So for those that don't know, it's the fingertips basically have an extra extension in terms of, because in terms of helping with the fingertip saves almost.
It's essentially another hybrid, because it's a flat cut with a roll at the end, but instead of the normal traditional roll at the end, it's got like the little tip at the end, which kind of
Yeah.
And I actually, when I first got it, I was like, "What the hell is this?" But I only tried it because I was like, my favorite goalkeeper being Alan McGregor, who's the Rangers #1 at the moment.
Yeah.
He wears Calio and he wears the extension. I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. So I did.
Yeah.
And really one of my favorite gloves, definitely. And the extension cut's just very weird, unusual, but I liked it. It's like, I like it.
It's funny
Sounds a bit like
because
you, unusual.
Unusual, I like it.
yeah. It's funny because when I tried them, I think I'm quite unlucky because I think I'd love them, but I had an injury once where someone stood on my hand and it's kind of messed up all my knuckles and stuff. And for some reason, in the extension cut, it just doesn't quite fit right on my hand because of that injury. So I think without that, I would have loved it. But for me, I kind of prefer the negatives and the hybrids.
Yeah.
But they are really interesting gloves.
So no talking about gloves. Connor, what boots? Let's talk about boots.
We're moving on from gloves to boots.
Yeah.
I loves it.
So what boots do you currently wear at the moment?
Mate, don't you watch Keeping Goals? He wears Nike Tiempos. Come on.
I wanted to say it.
I was just showing off, sorry.
My boot Nike Tiempos have been in my boot for years.
Yeah.
I was brought up. It's funny because my brother being a centre forward, he always had like flash boots. He'd wear like mercurials or like whatever in all the different colours. Yeah. And like my dad and my granddad were quite traditional football fans, and they're like, you can't wear coloured boots in goal. Like there's no way you can wear coloured boots. So like you can't wear white boots. You can't wear this. So like you've got to wear black boots. So kind of instilled in me from a young age was that I needed to have black boots. Yeah. And I've always loved the Tiempo fit and the Tiempo comfort. That's always been the most important thing for me.
They're not bad boots.
I've always been.
They're very safe. I understand it's a very boring choice, but they're very safe. And I think throughout my career, I've kind of sometimes experimented with some, but I've always come back to black Tiempos.
Is it? Do you have a bit of a wider foot?
Yeah,
that's what I find is that I've always transitioned between the Nike Tiempos and the Adidas Copas, which are two basically the same line against a different company. Really, they're both for the wider foot. They're usually a traditional based boot where they're simplicity in the design. And just a leather boot as well, because for me, I'm not a big fan of the whatever technologies that they bring out nowadays. I'm like, if I'm gonna have a boot, I'm gonna have a kangaroo leather boot, full quality, and it's just it's safe, it's easy, and you just get that good touch and that feel on the ball.
Also, too, the conditions
over
here in Australia. So we normally go for a firm ground over here with the studs. So myself
with the molded studs, not the metal ones.
But I've just actually I've had the Tempo. I think the fluorescent ones that De Gea had a couple of seasons ago. Went to the Coppers as well.
Yeah.
But I've just recently jumped on the new Predators.
Nice. Are they good?
Mate, I've got long and narrow feet, being tall and lanky, and I've gone I think it's 4 metal studs in it, and the rest is molded.
So it's like
nice.
So it's I guess a hybrid boot made with the studs.
It's like one of them all ground boots. So it's kind of like a mixture between the soft and the hard ground.
So it took a while to setting your feet and your diving positions and all that, because you kind of gripped.
Yeah.
You gripped a bit more, but look, I rate them.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
And the main thing is with his boot choice was we are big fans of the full kit. We're the full kit guys. So
full kit wankers.
Full kit wankers. So we're definitely we love it all matching. Shirt, shorts, socks, undershirt,
underwear.
Underwear if you got it. Get it all matching. Get it all matching.
I like it.
Do you like having everything matching? Are you that type of goalkeeper as well, or do you like to have it like the simplicity all goalkeeper of the black shorts, just the top? I'll wear whatever gloves I want. I don't care, and I've always worn my own
my own things, but
Yeah.
I've always kind of, and I found it a nice coincidence when it matches up. It's always one of those things where you get a new keeper kit and you have a nice surprise. It all looks quite good, but I'll never pick my gloves or my boots based on the colours of that. I'll kind of just go with the ones that I like.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So you're not completely insane like us, but it was quite funny because I do.
Not quite.
Must be the water down here.
Yeah. I do remember watching an episode of Keeping Goals, and this was back when you were playing for Europa Point, and I remember seeing a picture of you in your green kit. All right, so you're wearing a green kit, but you're wearing red. Yeah,
Don't embarrass
yeah. Look at that, and you're wearing red socks with your green kit, and I remember looking at
That
it
was
going,
horrific.
yeah, and I looked at it and went. I was like, my OCD is going nuts, and I was like, what is he thinking?
I looked like a Christmas tree. It was a joke. The way the kit was, we were supposed to have a kit delivery for the season.
Yeah, because you had a new kit. Yeah, from Admiral. Was it Admiral?
Yeah, exactly. And it was really nice. It was based on an old England national kit from the 80s, so it was quite retro. It was cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
but the kit didn't arrive for like the first month of the season.
Oh, no.
So they were trying to pull together all this different kit, and they didn't have a full proper keeper kit. So like they had a green top, and I brought my own for the trial. I brought like my own black shorts and black socks. So I was relatively happy with kind of green, black. It looked okay.
Yeah.
But like whenever we play a team with black socks, they'd be like, well, you can't wear black socks.
Correct.
And like the only other socks we'd have would be the red socks of the outfield team, and it looked horrific. It was very embarrassing.
I thought it was funny because I remember watching this and I seen the fit photo, and then the next week on Keeping Goals, right? I remember I think it was a video that you did about setting up your bag, and all of a sudden I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, is he going to pack green socks in his bag? And surely enough, you bring out the green socks, and you're like, you never know when your kit man doesn't bring out your green socks. And I remember you put them in the bag. I'm like, he knows. We're on the same page here.
Literally, after that game, I think I went around every shop trying to find some green socks. I was like, that's not happening again.
Just brought up on pairs.
Yeah, I just remember I was like, I'm definitely on the same wavelength as Connor there. And no, just a bit of humour moment for you, mate. Just to show you keepers are on the same page.
Do you have a favourite? I guess we'll do a two-part question. So, one favourite kit, and then favourite goalkeeper kit, as in like a World Cup or go on the retro style or
I mean, overall, I really love black goalkeeper kits. I don't know why. I think it's really
all
cool.
All black looks good. I like black.
Just makes me feel like a ninja. I love it. But one of my favorite goalkeeper kits when I was, might remember this, Yatesy, when I was younger, when United had Tim Howard and Roy Carroll. Yeah. I used to love the black United goalkeeper kit with like the silver strips on the shoulders,
and the gold.
Yeah, Bartes was a bit like. So I liked that.
Yeah,
I liked that one when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of De Gea's purple one at the moment. Like it looks kind of cool, but I think it needs to be more purple.
Yeah. De Gea had a nice one in about 2015. He had an all black one from them, which was really nice. I think it was he pulled it when he had that worldie against Everton. I think he was in the black for that one.
That's actually
he looked good.
One of my favourite. Well, that's one of my top 5 saves. That is when he makes a dives, misses, and gets up again, and forget about it.
What a save! What a save!
We could continue about this for ages.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, stop you guys. I'll be the mediocre here, guys. Yeah. Separate now. We, especially me, mate. I am a big fan of the bright kits. So the old, I know it was big, back in the day, the old really fluoro colours, the bright wacky designs.
World Cup '98.
Yeah, you think about all them, and they've almost come a little bit back into fashion a little bit, and you might see it on my profile pic and stuff like that. I do love a good fluorescent yellow, fluorescent orange kit because me as a small keeper, I like to look bright and big and like a traffic cone almost. Traffic cone in the middle of the goals. Are you a big fan of the bright colours, or you probably already said it that you like the traditional black where you don't get to see all the dirt.
I like the black.
Yeah.
But we have one at Bruno's, which is all orange, like luminous
the
orange.
fluoro orange,
nice
which I love. I love that kit. Do you love that kit?
It's a Joma one, and that was nice. Yeah. Especially to get in that after wearing some of the other ones that I was wearing before. That was a nice one to get in, because I like that kit a lot.
Yeah,
nice.
When I saw you in that, it was like orange shorts, top, orange socks. I was like, man, he's rocking that. He knows matching kit.
So I was a fan of Tim Howard's kit when he was at Everton, the camo. The army camo.
Oh, yeah.
So they couldn't see him, but they could see his gloves.
That defeats the purpose of the kit.
Just that cool, like, I've got the camo.
I know.
All right, we're gonna have
nice.
We're gonna have one last question for you, Connor, because we've taken up a lot of your time and we are really appreciative of it. But one last question for you, mate. But obviously you have mentioned that you have actually seen our videos, which is awesome, by the way. But what is one of the key moments in any of our videos that pops to mind? So, like, do you have a particular moment in any of our videos that you've went, that's funny, or you've kind of had a little chuckle to yourself, or
please say when Tommy gets nuts.
Yeah.
I was thinking, the one that it's not so much a moment, but like I said to you before, obviously the joy and the love of goalkeeping that you two communicate is something that I love in all the stuff that you do, including this podcast. And I think it's something that when people consume content about goalkeeping, they should find things like that, because it's so important to maintain that love of the sport, because you can get lost in all the other areas of goalkeeping, but having that love is really, really important. And you guys show that really, really well. And one of the ones that I enjoyed watching was you guys obviously training and doing what you're doing, but like you go from middle of the day, sun's at the top of the sky, and then by the end of the video it's going dark. Like you can tell that you've been there all afternoon just loving goalkeeping and doing what you're doing, and that made me smile, because I was like, well, these guys just love what they're doing, and they're showing it so well that they're there basically the whole day till the sun's going down, and then you can't film anymore just because it's dark. So that was something that I really enjoyed.
It is quite funny when we're filming, and then like we're doing like a little chat to the camera, and all of a sudden Yatesy just goes, "Oh, look at the sunset," and I'm just like, "What are you talking?"
Yeah, you were pointing out the moon on one of them.
Yeah, like, "Oh, look at the moon," and I'm like,
you know, the funny thing about that video, Connor, is like we took ages to try and hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
Then we did the football, volleyball, and then we did the final bit, and we ended it, and we had a couple of balls set up, and I think we're maybe touchline on the side. I don't know how.
Literally like in line with your 18, but just right down to the touch line, and all of a sudden, camera's just been switched off. Yatesy goes, "You know what? I'm just going to kick this ball," and he kicks it and he hits the crossbar. I'm like, "Dude, we haven't hit the crossbar in the crossbar challenge yet." So I'm like,
one of those moments, when you're feeling and when you're filming, you're just like, I should have put it back on.
Yeah. Have you ever had one of them moments for obviously you've been with the camera
plenty.
where you've just went, how did I not have the camera on there? And you're just like,
plenty. And sometimes ones like for games where I'd have done a few match day vlogs and I'd have filmed it, and I was like, people want something else, so we don't take the camera to a game, and then you pull off a worldie or something else happens, and you're like, God, why didn't I film that one? But no,
gotta love those moments, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's just that the world of the filming side of things as well.
Goalkeeping.
And goalkeeping is just like
Everyone
everyone will see your worst, no one will see your best. especially when you get your partner to come watch and play.
I think my wife has only ever watched me play like one game, and I think it was the game that I just had a mare, and I even I spent forever on the ball, and I got caught on my feet, and I let an easy goal, and just the stupidest stuff. Luckily, I've moved on from there, and I've gotten a little bit better with my feet, with help from Connor's tutorials.
Good.
Yeah. But the funny thing is that like, especially when I did one of my most popular videos was my solo goalkeeper video, and one of the biggest things that if you've ever watched it, the one thing that I really do emphasize on is one thing that I really got from you, which was both sides. Everything that I try to do, and if I'm ever going through a video or over training, I always like to go through everything both sides to make sure left foot, right foot, left hand, right hand, everything's both sides. And I got that mainly from watching your videos and just showing that like that's how a top goalkeeper should train, that's how a top goalkeeper should do it. let's communicate that down to anybody who's watching, potentially younger goalkeepers
Yeah.
that go,
Yeah.
all right, that's what I should be doing from a younger age, so that when we get to our age, they're like, sweet, I'm good with both feet. I don't care. Left foot, right foot. I don't
100%.
care. Yeah.
Very important.
I talk about symmetrical distribution, being able to hit all sides of the pitch with all different distribution techniques with both feet, which can seem like a very difficult concept when you can't use your weak foot. And 3 years ago, my left foot was terrible. I have to work on it all the time to get it to a level where it's good as my right foot. But
my left foot's still terrible when I'm left-footed.
Yeah, well, there you go. But simplifying it down is small things like that where it's just something that not everyone will do, and it's a tiny percentage where you can get the advantage on anyone else. But with all reps, if you can return the ball with both hands, or you can serve the ball with both hands or both feet, doing those small things which no one else will do over years will add up to the fact that when you get to a full age or playing full time or whatever, you're suddenly so much more able with both sides of your body compared to other keepers. So it's something that I probably didn't learn early enough, and I've had to catch up. But hopefully, communicating it to younger keepers can give them a huge advantage.
No, definitely.
You're still young, Connor, mate. So you got many,
mate. Yeah.
many moons to go, mate. Many moons to go.
And
Let's hope so.
Awesome, mate. Look, thank you so much for sticking around for as long as you have. You know, it's like it's been nearly 2 hours, man, and I appreciate it. We appreciate it so much, man. And we understand that obviously you do have potentially better things that you could be doing right now than talking to two douchebags over in Australia.
Not at all.
But mate, all the best, and we really do appreciate everything that you do, mate. Not just through your goalkeeping, but like the YouTube channel that you do, and everything that you're doing through there is awesome, mate. And I don't think 25,000 subscribers does you justice. I think you should definitely. I think you'll definitely be climbing that.
Yeah.
Thank you,
mate. Just awesome.
No, thank you for having me on. Thank you for inviting me. I've loved it. It's been great to chat with you, and keep doing what you're doing too. Because, like I say, you're spreading that love of goalkeeping, and it's so valuable for people from all ages and all levels of the game. So keep going with it. But thank you for having me. It's a huge honour.
Yeah, look, we'll have to when the travel ban get lifted, you have to come to WA and have a beer with us.
Yeah,
catch up with your mate.
That'd be brilliant.
With us.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be great.
Or you can just come to the A League and just travel around Australia.
We know that guy.
I'd love that too. I'd love that too.
Awesome, mate.
Well, it's been an honour, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us, bud.
Yeah, have a good one, mate.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Wow. Another interview in the bag, mate.
Oh, dude, we are getting good at this, I think.
Oh, all those Ray Martin videos have paid off.
For sure, mate. Just a quick shout out to Mr. Conor O'Keefe. What a legend. Thank you very much for coming on the show, mate. We do appreciate and respect what you've done through your YouTube channel and through everything that you've been doing and trying to, really do make an impact on the modern society and modern goalkeeping as well. So
exactly.
If you do want to, by any chance, support him, there'll be a link in the description box to go to his channel. So by all means, go to his channel at Keeping Goals. Give him a like, give him a subscribe, and support him up as well. Give him a thumbs up. Guy's a legend. So.
Yeah, especially for young keepers out there with the technique, preparation before game, the mental side to the game as well. Watch some of his videos there because they're quite interesting, and just getting an insight of what a professional footballer kind of needs to have and what they do
and what it takes.
Oh, exactly.
The amount of time and the amount of effort this guy's put in shows you what dedication it takes to be to be a professional goalkeeper, and he's still going and he's still doing strong. So by all means.
Tommy, initially if he does maybe 99 or 100 golden letters.
No,
who knows? If only Willy Wonka know about that, would have been all right. So, Tommy, we do have our very first giveaway, and we have an announcement to make who won it.
Oh, yes. So last week, if you didn't watch last week's episode, get onto it straight away. Go back, watch our Cyril Sharrock interview, and then you'll see that we did do a giveaway, and we plan on doing a giveaway every week.
Yes.
So this week's winner.
Well,
let's look on the interwebs and figure out who our winner is.
Do your generation there, the random.
Can we do like a drum roll or something like that?
I don't want to ruin the microphone, but would you like? Here we go.
Nah. So we currently have
Pause for dramatic effect. Go.
Kevin Grime.
Oh.
You are the SDL giveaway winner for this week. So what you have won, my friend, is you have won a full SDL kit in the color of your choice between the red, green, orange, and the sexy purple.
Damn.
In your size with the number on the back. And
That's good.
from what you've told us, mate, you are a Masters keeper at Leeming Strikers, and we are we're really happy that you're going to win this kit, and we definitely want to make sure that you're wearing this kit. So feel free, send us a photo of you wearing this kit in action with your SDL roll fingers that you say that you wear, which are your lucky gloves. So there you go.
I do believe it was a penalty save with those gloves, wasn't
mate, saved a penalty with SDLs. That's what you do. You put on SDLs and you save balls.
Well, I do believe the ball stops here is on the gloves.
Yeah, well, it makes sense.
It
makes sense.
Well, congratulations, Kev, mate. All the best.
Yeah,
looking forward to seeing the action pictures or the pictures with you in it.
Oh, yes.
Feel free to model this for us, and maybe we can use that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be in touch, mate, and we'll get you good details. And free SDL kit coming your way, my friend. But now we're on to this week's giveaway. So what have we got installed?
Oh, well, we have a naughty SDL hoodie to give away.
Nice.
Now, this hoodie, I must say, I do have one. I do rock it around pre-season last year. I think I wore it today.
There you go, mate.
So you get a good use out of it. I do. I get a very good use out of it. Good quality, keeps you warm.
I'm going to be uber jealous of this winner because I actually don't have one yet. I really want one.
Yeah.
There you go. So hint, Stu. Hint.
Yeah. So I think what we need to do, so to get into this competition, we would like a subscribe, and also tell us your favourite goalkeeper. Be interesting to see out there what favourite goalkeeper is.
It would be interesting. So for those of you who are listening to us on our podcast, head over to our YouTube channel at Tommygun GK. All right, like the video, subscribe, and head down into the comment section below. And all you have to do is type in your favourite goalkeeper. All right, and then as soon as you've done that, you're in the draw to win, and we'll announce the winner just like we have done today. On next week's episode with another special guest.
That's it. Just Tommy, who's your favourite goalkeeper, mate?
Oh, mate, it's a tough one for me, but I have to go with my favourite Rangers goalkeeper, which would be Alan McGregor.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah. What about yours, mate?
See, I'm tired. See, I'm going to go old school. I'm going to go Peter Schmeichels. Obviously, I'm a United fan.
Of course.
But then I love that. But then I'm going to go modern and go De Gea. Hence the kind of the haircut there. So.
Mate, I didn't even.
And everyone loves a foot save.
Everyone loves a good foot save. All right.
Sorry, Stu. So on that note,
that wraps us up for this week's episode of Inside 6 Yarns, guys. I've been Tommy Gunn.
Yatesy, as always.
Let's catch you later.
See ya. Peace.